Hello and welcome back to Stack Cash. This is the 15th Stack Cash AMA. Today is August the 12th. Happy that you guys could join us again today. So we have a lot of things in store, a lot of things to talk about, and we have a main subject of today, but primarily this is what we do to essentially invite you all and ingratiate you guys with the Stack Cash protocol, which is coming soon. So as you guys know, each AMA we try to talk about something about the project, answer questions, so forth and so on. But we also like to give what we call some alpha. So the alpha for today is we'll have some vital information that'll be coming out in our Twitter, Telegram, Discord this week. So make sure you guys tune in to kind of see what we have to come. A lot of people, it's been a journey. And today, our main subject of what we're going to be talking about is how is Stack Cash sustainable? So through this 8-month journey, the Stack Cash board and committee, and also DAO members have been able to contribute ideas, work with different developers, um, influencers, marketers, the whole nine, to build a project that is for DeFi users by DeFi users. And when we say that, obviously we want to have, you know, everyone involved, but it starts with us, the DeFi users. So just some exciting things to come, guys. And feel free to check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just for some house cleaning, if you're watching this live, feel free to comment, feel free to hit that like. And also, if you haven't already, subscribe to the StatCash YouTube page. Just hit that red button. Also on X, Discord, Telegram, the whole nine. Keep tabs on what we have going on. We have a lot of new things that we're going to be rolling out in a short amount of time. So while we've been waiting 8 months to get to this point, we have a lot more to come from StatCash. So you guys are going to be excited. So, again, the main subject of today is how is StatCash sustainable? So what we've seen in the space up until now, and also, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Muddy Mo, one of the board members here at StatCash, and just, faithful servant, the project that's here to serve the people. But getting back to it, how is StatCash sustainable? So what we've seen around the DeFi space is a lot of projects lack longevity, and primarily it comes from different things, from people pumping and dumping, and probably dishonest leadership teams, and just a lot more whales that abuse certain contracts. So today, with this AMA, we want to really break into why Stack Cash has essentially taken the time to really measure 3 times, cut once, and figure out how to make this protocol as sustainable as possible. And even with that, you know, I don't want to toot our own horn, but you know, we're really striving to make this the most sustainable DeFi project that we've seen in our space. So, buckle your seatbelts and join us as we go forth with this journey. And again, we'll be breaking down the StatCash sustainability in multiple ways. So, it should be fun, guys. It should be fun. And also, y'all know it's Saturday, so we do this every Saturday. But shout out to the board members. I know some couldn't be on today, but shout out to the board members, and also shout out to the committee members of Stack Cash. We'll talk more in depth a little bit later about a board NTT, committee NTT, and H board NTT, which essentially gives you ownership of the Stack Cash protocol and the protocol treasuries. So that's important, and we're just happy to. I'm happy to have multiple people with equal say in the project going forward with me. So, all right, so let's get this screen going and let's get the rolling. So as always, as we do this, feel free to tell a friend to tell a friend. Stack Cash is, again, this is for everyone. So what we've tried to do in creating it is making a DeFi protocol that everybody can use for passive income. Um, I'll tell you, there's many people who who are dying and just suffering right now within DeFi, and so many much more people outside of DeFi that need what we have to offer here with Stack Cash. So you guys are here early, but feel free to tell a friend to tell a friend. what StatCash is doing, and feel free to take part in it. All right. So this is the link tree. Again, the link tree is the best place to go to get resources for the StatCash protocol. As you see here, we have a light paper and a lot of different information. This coming week, this is the alpha for today, guys. Listen closely. This coming week, StatCash will have some more major StatCash information. Join the Telegram to really in a Discord to really know firsthand what that's going to be. But this information tab will be updated. And not to mention, we'll also have a newer version of the light paper roadmap, but ultimately, we'll have the main piece to the StatCash puzzle. As you guys, most of you guys know, is we're built on transparency, and we're also built on involving everyone. It doesn't matter what project you've been a part of. It doesn't matter, your experiences in the space. This is a fresh start for everybody. So the information that we'll be releasing this week is going to be something you're not going to want to miss. You're not going to want to miss it. And also, a lot of people, while we talk about sustainability and while we release more information on how the project is created, one thing a lot of people, would need to know that the how we're approaching this is that cash, especially being built from influencers like myself, Muddy Mo, and others that we have on the team, and using multiple developers. You have an opportunity with us to truly experience DeFi like it's haven't been presented before. Up until now, it's been all about one person, a couple people on a team, and they're controlling everything. Well, we're just kind of opening the doors, opening our arms. This is again a community project that we need you guys to be a part of with us. The more participation we have, the better it is. All right. So again, the link tree is here. You'll find all our StatCash AMAs. We'll get a lot more of those loaded here, and also one major piece of information from this past week, we have, all about StatCash. So also a first mover for StatCash, the white paper is in video form. So if you want to know what's on a white paper, you can literally look at these 7 videos that talk about the white paper and all the major portions of the StatCash protocol. So again, the StatCash link tree, this is always going to be here. It's going to be a resource, even though we will have a website, and that's also some more stuff that's coming, and some other things that you can utilize. For now, the resources, and for the future, the resources is going to be stored here on the link tree. And also at the very top, last but not least, we have all of our social media platforms. We have X, Discord, Telegram, YouTube, and you can also email us. And also, soon to add, we have a TikTok channel. So we'll talk more about that in just a moment, but make sure that you guys go and follow us on TikTok. That's where you get the shorter content, kind of, quick and straight to the point kind of content. All right. What's going on? Tina, one of our board members, tuning in. She said, have a great AMA. I'm talking with a few brides today for upcoming weddings. Great topic today. StatCash has great mechanics built into it and an excellent treasury system to sustain itself. Tina, great comment. And thank you for tuning in. Tina's working today, guys, and we're happy to see her up and back working. I know she has some things going on, so we're just happy to hear from Tina. And Tina makes a great point here. The mechanics, and that's what we're gonna kind of focus on today. The mechanics that's built into this, and especially the multiple treasury protocol treasury system. It opens up the door for so much participation, and not only just that, so many people that can win with StatCash. Regular people, rich people, poor people, everyone can win with the StatCash ecosystem. All right. Tina also said this is not like other projects. Tell them, Tina. She said where they have one treasury and puts a strain on it. And most of the time in those projects, you need to be early so you're not left behind. Great points, Tina. Thanks for saying that. We've seen parts of other projects. We've seen single asset staking, we've seen CD contracts, we've seen reflection tokens, we've seen multiple staking kind of platforms. What we haven't seen is those type of platforms with all the best portions of it put together and kind of trim the fat of the things that didn't work. So we're not like other projects at all. We have multiple, at least 5 to 6 first movers just here in Stack Cash alone. And then, Tina brings up the treasury. As you guys know, here at Stack Cash, we have multiple treasuries. Some that our users and our participants can be a part of and own part of. We also have treasuries that are simply going to be in existence just to keep the entire protocol sustainable. And again, sustainability is the word for today. How does this thing last more than a year or 2 years? How do we make this thing last to make it a retirement fund? So that's another great point, Tina. And she also said most of the time in those projects you need to be early so you're not left behind. Great point. And just to kind of follow up on that, that's one thing that's awesome about Stack Cash. It always, now we'll be honest, it always helps to be early because you get the better deals most of the time. But in Stack Cash, you do not have to be early. You can come in at any time. So some people will wait and say, hey, I'll see how it goes. And although they won't get the best deals, they'll still be able to participate on the Stack side. However, to Tina's point, on the Cash side, you will never be left behind. You can always come in and participate in Cashbox, which is our 5.5% per day contract, and also other things from Cashbox that you can be a part of. Cache, which is our single asset staking, you can come do that at any time. So great comments, Tina. Great comments. All right, as we keep it moving, just more house cleaning. Please come check us out on our YouTube page. Our YouTube page has a lot of different influencers that that make content on Stack Cash that's loaded here. Not only will we have our AMAs that you can come back and kind of listen to as you so choose. We'll also have different smaller video content that we'll put here on YouTube. So as you guys know, as I just talked about, we have all about Stack Cashes, which is literally our white paper in visible form. And another thing here on our YouTube page is we have different playlists. So if you're looking for something specific, or if you just want to know any general content, you can definitely come to our Stack Cash YouTube page and find out whatever you need to know, especially on a broader scale. So all right. Also, if you haven't already, feel free to like us and add us onto Twitter or X. I keep saying the wrong thing. So we're up and moving with X. We got some more things to be added here, and we're picking up steam on everything. So feel free to add us on X and come check us out. Come comment and leave some likes and let us know what you think. Again, Stack Cash is a community banking DAO. So we want everyone to be able to earn passive income. And the first step to that is knowing how to do that. So we'll walk you through it. And one thing that Stack Cash being about the community, we always find someone amongst us that can answer your questions and provide some customer support. So it is what it is. And it looks like we have another board member on board today on the call on the AMA. What's going on, Vin?
What's up, Mo? How's everything going, my friend?
Oh man, I can't call it. It's all good over here, man. How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. I got some internet issues going on right now. There's a couple of guys working up down the street on the poles over here, so I don't know what's happening. And hopefully, I'll be able to stay on. So let's see what happens, right?
Yep, man. We're happy to have you, man. They probably cutting grass out back. No,
They'd be like, that dude Vin Man sucking up all the internet. We got to cut him back.
I love it. And Vin, this is perfect timing, man, because I was just about to brag about you, so your ears must be tingling.
Talk about it.
So if y'all come check us out, and we'll also get this posted on our Stack Cash X page. But Vin, while we have you, man, tell us about what you got going on with TikTok and also on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I told you I was last show. I was saying I put together some TikToks, and we're gonna get our Stack Cash TikTok going. Right now, it's just on my personal TikTok, but I'll probably eventually move those over as well. But yeah, I got some. It's almost like a movie. I'm putting it together like a production manager here, like a director, producer. I'm the writer, and so yeah, stay tuned. There's gonna be some some fun stuff and some stuff that's right down to the nitty gritty about Stat Cash as well. Um, and as far as X, I've been going on there too, throwing some videos on. I just did one yesterday talking about the AMA today. So yeah, you're going to be seeing my mug around everywhere. So like I said, come check me out. I'll be talking about Stat Cash an awful lot, keeping you guys updated. And yeah, you can, like I said, you can like it, you can make fun of me. I don't care. Just have fun. Come check it out and let's talk. Right. So yeah, stay tuned.
Love it, love it.
Yes,
And if you
sir.
guys would go follow Vin, go like some stuff. Vin started this from scratch with that cash. So
Yep.
Vin is on the ball and he has some awesome video content. I know for me, I personally like, you know, people that add a personal touch and it's just themselves. And one thing I can say about all of Vin's content is you get that feel like this is just a buddy at the house around the, that you can just
That's
get a beer
it.
with and hang out with.
Yes, sir. I'm just like the social guy. I like to just hang out, talk, be myself. Low key, nothing crazy, nothing fancy. You don't try to be somebody I'm not. Try to talk anything up. It's just, it is what it is. Let's talk.
Exactly, exactly. And also, and I don't want to take Vince thunder, but we also planning to do essentially a fantasy football that we're going to open up to the dial.
Yeah.
So again, we are about passive income and all of the other things that come along with DeFi. However, we're also building camaraderie. So Vin to be the commission, and we're creating a fantasy football now. There is a time stipulation on that. So if you guys are interested, please let us know. Come to the Telegram and or Discord and let us know. Vin, you want to talk about fantasy football for a sec?
Oh yeah, I was talking to you yesterday about that or the day before. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna try to set it up tomorrow. I don't think I got anything planned. A couple of things to do, but yeah, we'll set that up, and then we'll talk about what kind of a prize we'll do, and we'll make it fun. And I think you said we can do it like on a StreamYard, do it live for the draft. I believe that'd be cool. Just hang out, talk, get to know each other. So yeah, I think probably the end of this month we should have the draft going. I think because I think what football starts on the 7th of September, maybe if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be cool just to come hang out, talk. Even if you're not a fantasy football like player, I mean, it's free to join, and I mean, listen, people in my family, like girls especially, they win. They like, oh, I like that name, so I'm gonna bet on them and this and like, and I'm over here crunching numbers and whatnot, and can't win a dime. And so, yeah, I mean, you don't have to be like a football like enthusiast to even play. So I mean, it's all about fun. Statcast is all about family for the people. We just want to have you around and have a chat. You know what I mean, and have some fun at the same time and win a prize. Right? It's all good.
Exactly. Exactly. And again, it's free to join. So I know some people like, hey,
Yeah.
I get into money leagues. This is not that. This is it's all for fun, for camaraderie.
Yeah.
What we might do, and we'll have to talk about it at the board level. We haven't voted on it yet. But what we could do is possibly offer a committee NTT at the end of it. So if you
Ooh.
win the whole thing, or maybe the top two positions, top two, or maybe top three, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that up to the board.
Sure.
But yeah, we appreciate you, Vin, on getting that together.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So as always, I've been talking about this. We still have HBoard NTTs available right now. So HBoard NTTs was the first phase that we have in essentially the launch of Stack Cash. We are moving so fast towards this second phase, and this second phase is the early adopter phase. Again, this is the StatCash website, which we'll have pretty much out. Now we'll have some other information, probably very pertinent information. I don't know if I'm giving clues right now by showing this, but we got some very, very big information coming out this week. However, next would be the website, and then we'll have the early adopter launch. You're gonna want to be a part of it. And that's part of what we're talking about, sustainability today, but also just being an owner. Now, one thing I will say is that most people in the DeFi space, even though we're making this for everybody, most people in the DeFi space, they look for a token and they look for a cheap price, and it's really like almost like trading. One
Hmm.
thing you guys should know is that the NTTs take you out of the trading realm. It allows you to get passive income. So there's no, have to watch the price or anything like that. It automatically comes to you as a owner of a board entity or committee entity.
Yep.
So again, the early adopter launch, it's essentially, you're as an early adopter onto Stack Cash, you'll be able to not only get your NTT, but in a lot of cases get perks that are already built into the launch, into the budget, get perks that others won't be able to have. So to Tina's point, while she was saying, "Hey, it's no bad time to get in," it's not, but there is a better time to get in, and that is through the early adopter launch. So
Yes,
um,
sir.
and we have different levels here. And I do want to, again, I want to talk this through because a lot of people in DeFi, we think tokens, and we'll have the stack token launch and we'll have plenty of time to talk about that as that's coming soon as well. But the primary thing you want to think about is how can I become an owner? And not only just that, just say you become an early adopter, right? You say, hey, I want to do this. I want to, be early into this project. One thing that you'll be able to get is you'll get access to our private Discord groups for our board if you're on that level or on a committee level. That allows you to have more of a say, especially before the project is even out. So, there's no bad ideas. We listen to everybody and we take everything to a vote. So, just understand there's many perks that come along with being an early adopter, and that's for a limited time. um it- how we've even got it built, once it hits a certain budget, this is actually cut off. So you're gonna want to hurry to get and be a part of this. It ranges anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 to get this NTT, which is connected to your wallet and allows you to get rewards in perpetuity. So as the protocol continues to strive and live, you'll get more passive rewards, not including what you're going to do with your own wallet and with your own stack tokens. So,
Yep. And
all
that's
right.
important, right? Because I mean, I've been in a few projects, and it's like, I wish they would do this, or maybe if they did something like this, and so being early and getting ownership, like Mo was just saying, is maybe you have an idea that goes far enough and gets voted on, that that could be incorporated in Stack Cash into the future, because we are adaptable and evolving. Um, so yeah, it's just sometimes I would have loved to see some different in some projects that were I was in, but my voice wasn't heard, and it was just a messy old telegram or whatever, and just scrolling like crazy, and no one answers you. It's all chaotic, and over here we're like family. We want to listen to everybody.
Good point, Vin. Good point. You know, we Stack Cash is, again, I always say this is a melting pot of not just DeFi, but also of crypto.
Yep.
It's so many different parts here, but also the camaraderie, like Vin was saying, is key, and also having a chance to have a say. And
Mm,
you can be early. We're
yep.
giving plenty of time for you guys to think about it and all that stuff. So, now's the best time as ever.
Yep.
And before we move on, real quick, so this is just an example. Just say you want to get a committee NTT, which again, once the project's out, it allow you to get rewards from this committee treasury. And here's an example: for 1,000 USDC, you get the committee NTT, which is at $1,000 level. That's how much it costs. But you'll also get, as an early adopter, a $250 deposit into Cashbox and a $250 deposit into CBC, which gives you direct BTC or whatever your blue chip token that you like. So this is what's something that you can take advantage of, again, and get credit towards the contracts as well. So some people, Vin, they so used to pre-sales, like, oh, I'm gonna buy the token and I have it early and I can sell it early or whatever. I can do whatever.
Yep. Right.
Here, we're giving you, it's the same, is really the same kind of mindset, because we're giving you value
Yep.
that others won't be able to have, just like another pre-sale would. So
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I've been in a few of those. Let me tell you, it's they're not fun. Uh, because you got to be right there when it launches, and those pre-sale tokens, everybody just dumps them on you. So oh yeah,
and then the one thing that always leads to, Vin, because we've seen so many projects in the space, that leads to lack of sustainability, because it's a race to dump, in my
that's
opinion.
right. Yep. Yeah, when you see something like that, the project isn't built to sustain long term. They're just there. They're taking dev fees, and the early adopters and the private sailors, they're all going to dump on you. They ain't building it to make it last. Over here, we're looking for long term sustainability, evolvement. And yeah, so I would definitely stay away from those type of projects.
Vin, great point. Because you just lead right into everything we're gonna be talking about today. I love it. That is an excellent point. All right, so now, so let's kind of take a look at you know some of the things that makes that cash sustainable, and it's a lot of things. And then I might talk too much, so cut me off, man, or just jump in.
All right.
um, yeah, but starting at the very tip top is who we are. When you invest in a business or you invest even in people in the stock market in real life, you want to know who those people are. Like what's their background? Where do they come from?
Right.
Um, One thing that really adds to how we're built especially as far as being sustainable is who we are. The
Yeah.
people that's in Stack Cash, we're all DeFi users. And the way we got to DeFi to Stack Cash was through all the issues that we were seeing in the space: rug pulls, false information, unfulfilled promises, lack liquidity of funds that's not accessible, right? Distrustful developers and project leaders,
Yeah.
excessive taxes. I is it more of it? Like,
Oh my God, yeah. And then you got the the restriction, the LMS is there, how much you can take out, how much you can put in, how much you can, I mean, yeah, they just try to survive after a while, and it just gets worse and worse. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's been some projects out there that I kind of really enjoyed, and it's just, if there was just some type of different mechanics in the smart contract, that it would have made it a little bit better and everything. And that's what we're doing here. We've been around and we're learning from all these other projects that couldn't survive or trying to survive, and we're building on that. So that's one key thing here. It's that cash.
exactly, man. Exactly. So, for DeFi users, by DeFi users is, you know, who we are. This
Yep.
is again, we're veterans, and we understand how these projects work, and also the people and the mindset in the space.
Yep.
As DeFi users, you know, and I don't know about you, Vin, but I start to get a feeling when a project is about to go south.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yep.
like a sixth sense I've gotten now because I've been so accustomed to doing it. And they say,
Absolutely.
10,000 hours of doing anything, you're an expert. So
Right.
I'm probably pushing close to that.
Oh yeah, I'm all of that.
Yep. So also another big thing, as far as who we are and what Stack Cash is there's no dev wallet. So there's no, 10% or 20% that goes to a developer. Nothing like that. And everything we have is multi-sig. So whatever you see come out, we're not, any wallet that we have associated, the deployer wallet even is a multi-sig wallet. Now, as far as I'm gonna be honest, because we're honest group. Sometimes that it's a headache because different people in different time zones and just
Yep.
all of that. However, safety's first here, and having multiple people needing to sign off on things makes things a lot safer for not just us but the entire project as a whole. No rug pulling. So,
Exactly. Yep. I mean,
and
I've seen it. I've seen 30% dead fees out there. Like, and it's just getting crazy,
ooh,
right? I mean, am I wrong? Have you seen it
man.
30%?
And then that's crazy because that's a new project. Like, it's like, that's as a DeFi user, Vin, as a vet, I feel like that's kind of an attack on the space. What do you mean a 30% dev fee?
Right.
I mean, this is my opinion. No, not saying any names, but it's just,
Yep.
um, we know that over time that's not sustainable and it only pays a certain group of people.
All right.
Um, and one thing that's special about us here is the stack token, our primary reflect token. None of Vin doesn't have any, Tina doesn't have any, I don't have any. None of us have stack tokens.
Nope.
um, that is a complete fair launch where we all have to buy stack at the stack fair launch. So
There.
good stuff. Good stuff. Also, one thing, and it kind of leads me to the next point, is everything here is governance. So while some projects, have one person making all the shots, calling all the shots, and they really can't, nobody else can come in and say anything. With Stack Cash, we've had up until this point and going forward, we voted on everything. Every major portion of this project has been a vote. And we'll continue that. And when you become an early adopter, and when you get your board NTT, or when you get your committee NTT, you'll also have a say, and your vote will also count. I know, Vin. We've had multiple votes, and I'm like, oh, guys, it hasn't went my way. And
Oh,
I'm like, you
so
know
close.
what? What you say, Vin?
Yeah, like, oh, so close. One more
Right.
vote.
I'm hoping my vote goes through,
Yep.
but that's the beauty of it. And
Yeah.
again, for that, from what I've seen, we're a first mover in offering the public a say at what happens behind the scenes. Like, if you
Yep.
think of a typical company in a board, in committees in a company, you are the board, you are the top. You hire people, you fire people.
Yep.
And in our case, you tell us what needs to change, you tell us what we could add. We all everybody's thoughts are welcome. So
Yes, sir. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah. By the way, if you go into the Telegram group, you can see some new tags next to the committee members. Hey, we just voted on that, and now they're stack coaches, right? And they're in there to help you as well.
shout out to the stack coaches. So yes, all the committee members. If you check out in Telegram, to Vince's point, they're all stack coaches now, and we have our board members, our stack officials. So yeah,
Yes, sir.
man, we just voted on that name,
Yep.
and we have it going. So good stuff. Another key reason why we're sustainable is, again, kind of to the last point, is everything here is governance, and all governance is everything is democratized. We vote on everything in the direction of the project. And we have three levels. So we have the board, the committee, and the DAO. Nobody, everyone, and I think the special thing is, even at this top board level, everyone can be a part of that. But there'll be votes on, you know, what new tokens do you want in CBC? You know, what should we do going forward? What blockchain should we be a part of? As you guys know, we're layer two. So we can be on Arbitrum, we can be on Polygon. Those are options down the road, of course.
Yes, sir.
Also, you can, vote on, other aspects. We have a team member, shout out to Littlefish. He couldn't be with us today. But a board member has a great idea for an additional smart contract that we can use for team gamification. So even stuff like that, all that stuff can be voted on. So
Yep. And
so
also,
that's
just I mean, just because you're not like you don't have ownership in the stack cash doesn't mean we're not going to listen to you, because we're going to listen to everybody in our social media group. So even if you got something to say, you're not on the board or the committee or whatever, we listen to everybody. And if it's something we're talking about, hey, you want to pull us aside, just ask to speak to us privately or something, and we'll talk about it. So we don't ignore nobody.
great point, Vin. So now once you jump on the Stack Cash, you're a DAO member, you're family. We're taking you in. But as we know, we'll have a lot of people who probably don't even know what DeFi or crypto is too much. We'll always give an ear. Your voice is always heard. So great point, Van. Good point on that. So another thing that's really important in a lot of projects, you know, they don't do these things when they first come out. But we've already pretty much planned out what exactly we're going to do. And we have a funds breakdown of everything that's going to be going on. So if you go check out, I can't remember which All About Stack Cash it is, but you can go watch this in video form. But, after the stack launch and, with all the funds, this is basically a clear example of what we're going to be doing with the funds. So everybody, a lot of no project we've seen has been this transparent about what's going to be happening with the funds immediately after the stack launch. But here's just an example of, as you see, LP, all these are pretty much LPs. Now we have Sweepstack, and we have the USDC vault. But other than that, everything else here is liquidity pairs. So all those funds coming in going to be going to liquidity. And that's something from the beginning of the project makes us, more sustainable as far as providing a floor for locked liquidity. Now, what do I
Yep.
mean by that? So, you know, the moment this is launched, we're going to have a liquidity floor that's set. Hopefully, if there's a lot of participation, we'll have more to start. But even if not, we still have a liquidity floor. And due to the mechanics of how the Stack Cash protocol works, it always is adding to that liquidity floor. So the liquidity floor just grows and grows and grows. And even bigger than that, we have multiple dexes that we're using as well, primarily our Stack Cash dex, but we're also using PancakeSwap to prevent things like flash loans and other things that have hurt many projects in the space before. So,
Hmm. Yes, sir. Good stuff. And look
but
at that pie chart. Where else do you? I can count on one hand how many times I saw a white paper that looks like that.
I can count on one finger, Vin. No, I'm just
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
saying. But key here too, guys, is locked liquidity. You know, it's two ways you can think of locked liquidity in a bad way, whereas some projects just want to grow a vault and it doesn't necessarily suit the users of that project. They don't get much of that. In our case, we have locked liquidity, which adds to the stack price. So our stack token price, the more basically that floor of liquidity we have, the higher the stack price can go.
Mm,
um no guarantees or anything like that. People are going
right.
to sell tokens, we get it.
Yep.
But at the same time, the mechanics on the base level really allows the project to really thrive and grow. And in connection with that, we have here the token distribution. So this is how the stack token is divvied up directly after launch. And again, you see the stack generator, which essentially is a protocol treasury. It helps the entire protocol, liquidity and participants. And then we have also different treasuries that get certain amount of stack tokens.
Yep.
So I'm gonna be honest, and then probably could talk to this too, but there's not gonna be a lot of tokens available. There's not gonna be a lot of tokens available at all.
No, there is not.
And what
Another vote we lost on.
right. So I mean, again, you're never too late to get into stack cash, which is awesome. But it's good to be early. It's just better to be early. Um,
Yeah.
and even adding to our sustainability, we've seen a lot of projects that try to create scarcity. So they have burn wallets and other places that they try to take tokens out of circulation to keep the value up.
Yep.
Well, not only do we have light taxes that allow users to not feel like the price is just going to dump in a day, we also have the stack supplies gamma squeeze.
Mm,
And to keep this simple, all it simply means is us having our protocol treasuries and also having a many team treasuries, and not to mention just all the users over time, due to the mechanics and how this is built, there's going to be less and less stack tokens naturally available. And you have to remember something about stack cash that makes this a little different. There's automated volume with our protocol treasuries and also with our team treasuries. So, you know, basically all I'm trying to say is there's going to be more volume. And when there's more volume, there's going to be more and more stack tokens that's pushed into these protocols and out of basically you can't buy them. To keep it, try to
right.
keep it simple.
Yep.
So that's another way that we're having a stack token be sustainable, is through the multiple protocol system.
Yep. We have great allocations, tax distributions. I mean, there's so much. There's so much in these smart contracts that you don't see in any other project. I mean, really, check out that white paper right there that he's showing you. It's just the way we allocate everything is very important, very thought out.
Exactly. And you know what, man, you can tell them, man, we've had devs tell us like, dang, you guys are really you guys put some real thought into this. Like, yeah, we
Yes,
did.
sir. You see them scratching the back of the head, like, wow.
Exactly. And it's all for the people, because us as a DeFi crowd, we all deserve this, So
Yep.
is what it is. Vin just said a very key point. Another key way that we create sustainability amongst stack cash is through taxes.
Yep.
And again, we have to pay taxes. If I go to the store to buy a bottle of water, I have to pay tax on that. If I go to get my my oil change in the Jiffy Lube, I gotta go pay a tax on that.
Yep.
So one thing we've done here is added fair taxes that won't change. So our taxes here feed the protocol and feed liquidity primarily. So the stack token price, and we'll also talk a little bit about Cashbox in just a moment. But those taxes is again what creates a more sustainable long-term project for everyone. It allows a project to have basically bank. What good is a bank without a bank? And
Yep.
since Stack Cash is the community banking DAO, we want to make sure that the DAO itself is sustainable through taxes.
Yes, sir. A lot of projects, man. If they had a certain amount taxes, could still be running right now, pretty good.
Exactly. And my thing is, telling it to you how it is. And Stack Cash, you also see some of our board meetings and some other things. Like people tell it how it is, and that's how that's
Yep.
that's the greatest part about this. This is straight to the point. This is what it is. We're not gonna add taxes later and do anything like that or take them away. It just is what it is and how the protocol works. So.
That's it.
All right. So we talked about the stack token a little bit. Now, the one major piece, and we'll talk about the specific projects, on each individual smart contract and how it's adding sustainability and how they're meant to be sustainable. But one thing that a lot of DeFi users that we know are familiar with is the cash box, or we call it cash box, but a CD contract. So what we've done here is we've taken other models of CD contracts and tested it and looked at what will make a CD contract the most sustainable. And kind of to the last point we were talking about is we have taxes in our CD contract, our cash box contract, which pays users 0.5% per day on their principal. So, just to kind of go through it quickly, once the user mints and bonds cash to enter into the cash box, it's a 5% fee that goes onto that, and we have it listed here. I'm not gonna go through all that, but y'all can see that we add to treasuries, we add to mega cash, which we'll talk about, and we also add primarily to liquidity. So every buy into cash box into the CD contract is adding to liquidity. Also we have taxes on the rewards you get, so you also get taxed when you compound, when you withdraw. There's also light taxes, not heavy taxes,
Yep.
but light taxes, again, that allows you to continue to be able to withdraw and continue to be able to use the project. What good is a project if you make your ROI, you get into the gains, to the green, and it goes away in a month? What's the point of
Right.
that?
Right.
So but again, the compounding and even the withdrawing, all of it, half of that pretty much goes back into liquidity. So that's something that's just really, really important, is again the light taxes that we have.
Yeah, and that's just us looking out for the rest of the investors. Like we were saying at the beginning, if you're not early and you get into cash box, say 4 6 months down the road, it's like you don't have to worry about that guy that was ahead of you and whatnot. So yeah, everything here is for the people, man, and we're looking out for the investors for long term.
Exactly, Vin. And you know what? If you want to, this is how I see it. If you want to get ahead here, all you need is effort.
Yep.
Obviously you need some funds, but you don't even need a lot. Now
No.
the more you put in, the more you're gonna make.
Right.
But
Right.
it's so many times I started out my YouTube channel just talking to minnows,
Yep.
people who just got enough. And Stack Cash, again, it appeases to whales, and it also appeases to the regular investor. They got $100 a week, $100 a month, whatever.
Yep.
You can come and make something of that here in Stack Cash. So
So hey, you know what? Where there's minnows, there's sharks, and where there's sharks, there's whales. You know what I'm saying?
there you
Uh,
go, man.
we need the minnows, we need the sharks. I mean, we love the whales. We love everybody. I mean, it's just, but we're like the blue collar workers. You know what I mean? We'll take the little guys, the big guys. We want everybody in here.
Exactly. And then I've seen many times, even myself as a personal, you can go from being lower a minnow, maybe even above a minnow, to a shark, to being a whale.
Oh yeah. Yep.
In Stack Cash, we've seen that in DeFi, but Stack Cash specifically is built to allow users to grow at their own pace. So if you want to, grow a lot, you can grow a lot.
Yep.
No problem. All right. Another thing, real quick, is the reflections. So, the way that we pay or collateralize our cash box and our CBC and our cache is through reflections. And it's just a part of the story. So some projects only have reflections that goes and tries to pay for everything else. While that's a major part of how we pay and collateralize what we have, Another thing, that we've added to that is, having multiple treasuries that are able to add to reflections, and we have whales within those contracts. But getting back to reflections really quick, one thing you got to know is that all of our protocol treasuries are participants.
Yes.
So, don't think of it like, oh, what dev wallet or anything like that. No, no, no. They're all literally just a wallet that's created, a protocol wallet that's created,
Yep.
and gets reflections just like you would in your wallet. Not only just that, even bigger, each team treasury is also a participant. So you gotta understand, the reflections, the more stack tokens you get, the more reflections you're gonna get.
Yep.
Every time stack is bought and sold, or even in cash box or on this cash side, any basically any transaction is going to be adding to the reflections of stack.
It's awesome.
And if you want to compare, because people need comparisons, people always talk about Bitcoin. We all know Bitcoin. Cool.
Hmm.
Well, the stack token, first off, it has the scarcity. There's only 21 million Bitcoin ever created, right?
Yep.
While we have 100 million stack tokens created, the treasuries that you guys see here, this is adding to the scarcity of the stack token. There's going to be less and less stack tokens by design. And Bitcoin wasn't designed like that per se. Um, so taking the scarcity like Bitcoin has is important. But the
Yep.
one thing that the stack token has that Bitcoin does not have is the way to make gains more than just off the price of the token. So with the stack token, you'll be getting some price appreciation, but the more you hold in your wallet, you'll be able to get a percentage or a piece of everybody who transacts with Stack Token.
Yep.
So that's important. It's basically Bitcoin on steroids. So Bitcoin that can get you more Bitcoin tokens just for holding it in your wallet.
Yep. Not, and man, Bitcoin doesn't rebalance. All our treasuries they all rebalance.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's another thing there, Vin.
Yep.
um, Sustainability through our rebalancing systems. So this is, go check out the All About That Cash, or come ask me. We can talk about this, in depth if you got questions. But everything here, all of our protocol treasuries and even your team treasuries do a rebalance. So they can't just continuously grow and grow and grow and get too large, where we
Right.
get too much stack token taken away.
Yep.
So do the math. Shout out to the math people.
Yes, sir.
This thing is built to essentially ascend over time. All right. Another key point, because a lot of people are going to want to know this. All right. So what's stopping a whale from coming in here and buying up all the stack tokens and buying all the cash and just draining this thing? So not only do we have whale blocks, even at the stack token launch, there's limits on how much a whale can buy. But within each specific smart contract, um, any one user or even a team treasury to that point cannot be larger than the protocol owned whales. So what does that mean? And that's going to kind of jump into the next portion. And here's just the token distribution at launch. At launch, as y'all see, most people, there's only going to be 20% of the stack tokens that's divvied out to users. Obviously, there'll be stack tokens in liquidity pairs that people can buy.
Yep.
There's a limit on how much you can get it. So you can't come in with $100 trillion and say, "Hey, I want to buy all the stack," and just take over the contract.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. Go ahead, man.
No, no, no. If you want to look at it in a certain way, that's just like you're the owner of a company, and then you don't just own 49% of your shares and put out 51% of them out there for the public to retake over your company. You know what I mean? So this kind of how this treasury system works. You'll never be able to get more ownership than the treasury itself.
Then that's a great way to explain that. I love that. Exactly. If you own a company, you're not gonna own less than 51% of it. So if you're smart, because it's not your company anymore at that
That's
point.
right.
But for us here, we want to make sure that the protocol and the users are always going to be the owners of Stack Cash. So we do have I can say blocks, but I'll say limitations. So you can't just completely just abuse the project. Good
Right.
point.
Yep.
All right, real quick. So I'm gonna walk through a couple. I've already kind of talked about the stack token and how that is in itself just sustainable, and how the gamma squeeze and the reflections make it to whereas it can provide collateralization at the same time, remain sustainable over time and build value. Next, really quickly, I'm gonna walk through each of the cash contracts and tell you guys what we've added to it and what we've done to them to make them more sustainable. So starting with Cache. So Cache again is our single asset staking pool. So our cash token, which is utility coin, 1-to-1 with USD. Our cash token has a single asset staking pool. And what we've done here is, you know, our basically our protocol, you know, wallets, our protocol essentially, let's just say wallet our vaults, um, are built especially from launch to be able to sustain and pay the cash stakers and cache. So the 70.75, I'm sorry, the 75% APR that cache has is able to be sustained through the first off the reflections of stack. I don't want to get too deep, but but that's
Yep.
one way. But also again through our protocol owned vaults that all of us own together. So again, this is no risk on cache. This is single asset. You can take it out anytime. You can do whatever you want, compound it, whatever you want with it. But that's how that's built to be sustainable is through basically our protocol vaults. Now, this is we've seen single asset staking be very successful.
Yep.
Been around years, so we're not as concerned. We weren't as concerned about that, but again, it's sustainable long term. Now, Cashbox, the CD contract. We've seen CD contracts last a long time. We've seen some that last weeks or days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sustainability. First off, collateralizing our cash token is a one priority. That's something that through our tokenomics and through how our taxes and reflections work, that's a one. But the cash box is basically created to be sustainable, not just through what I've explained before about cash box, but also through our tokenomics. We have what's called a mega cash. Now this is very very vital as it creates a way for it to be self-sustainable. So in other projects, it's really one trick ponies. They got one way to try to keep it sustainable. When that doesn't work, they might tax users, they might,
Mm-hmm.
stop you from withdrawing, whatever.
Right.
In our case, from the onset of Cashbox, you have an opportunity to be a part of it. But what the Mega Cash does, it's the protocol owned whale. It's basically a participant in Cashbox. However, remember I said whale blocks. It can no individual or no team treasury can ever get larger than the mega cash. The mega cash's primary purpose is to be able to pay off all the rewards of Cashbox. Now, initially, and it only pays that a 30% of whatever its rewards is, it pays that back to all the users. Not only that, it adds to liquidity and some other stuff. But the main thing is again keeping our cash box, our CD contract stable. What you think about Mega Cash, man?
Can't wait to get in there, bud. Can't wait to jump in there because of the sustainability that we have built into this. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a few other projects where it's like what really aggravates me is I built up this nice nest egg, and the walls come crumbling in, and all of a sudden you see them starting to scramble, and then some other projects I'm into, they got limiters on them and whatnot, and you know what we have right here is right out in front. It tells you exactly what you're going to be able to put in, exactly how much you're going to be able to take out, exactly how much taxes you're going to have on it. There's not going to be any surprises, down the road. So if you're building up that nice nest egg and everything that you want to start withdrawing and putting aside, feel free because we're not going to have any surprises. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I love about Stack Cash.
Then that is you just made some really really great points.
Yeah, man, it's
Um,
just frustrating. You build up so much money in some projects and like, boom, okay, didn't expect that.
right, exactly. And I'll be honest, Vin. A lot of projects they have similar to our Mega Cash. They have something like that.
Right.
However, that's just a dev wallet, so they
Yep.
keep all that money for themselves.
Exactly. Yep.
But again, some people might ask, hey, so this Cashbox CD contract, we've seen people get in and they can compound, compound, compound. Here with Cashbox, again, one issue is that people can over compound, right?
Yep.
So we've prevented that. You can only compound up to 50% of your rewards every day. Not
Right.
only just that, that mega cash, that's no one again can't outshoot the mega cash.
Right.
So as the mega cash grows and as more participants come on, you can deposit more and more. But especially early, the pace is set by the mega cash, and then everything falls behind that.
Right. Right. I mean, you can take out your 100% and then just reinvest that 100%. Absolutely.
You
But
could, you
you got to
could.
pay that tax on it. And then again,
Gotta
that's
pay the
just us.
tax.
That's us looking out for the investor, the future investors, and sustainability. So it's all right there, right out in the open.
That's a strategy people might use, man.
That's
And
right.
to your point, you're gonna have to withdraw it and deposit it with another tax.
Yep.
Um, so here's what it is. Real quickly, so sweep stack is sustainable because it from our protocol treasuries and other treasuries, this is basically like extra money. So it's a participation award. It is daily for the individual and the team side. But this, remember, I always said the pot for sweep stack is not taken from anything, any vault, any treasury, nothing like that. It has its own separate pool that it pulls from. So that's why that's sustainable, because it's lossless. You can't lose. just
Right.
just buy some stack and get in the cash box, and you're
Yep.
good.
Love it.
All right, and last but not least, here we have our CBC. So one thing that's important to know, because a lot of people ask about outside funds. Um, what are you guys going to do to bring some outside funds into Stack Cash? So I'll say, although we're 100% DeFi,
Mm.
the CBC, our cash blue chips, allows us the flexibility to not only have blue chip tokens that you can be paid out directly in, it also allows us to partner with other DeFi projects or other groups, I should say.
Yep.
And if it's voted upon, they can get a CBC pool that again pays them out in direct whatever token that could be. So as far as sustainability, because a lot of people look to say, hey, where's the outside money coming from? The easiest way for us, just say Pepe, that group of people wanted to say, hey, we want something else. Not only would they come in, and if their token was chosen, that they can be able to earn more of their token. Um, First off, it takes more of their token out of circulation, right? So it helps them on their project. And not just that, they obviously have to come through Cashbox in order to get into our CBC. So it
Right.
also, helps, it helps us, it helps the protocol get stronger over time. But the biggest thing is, having their token on other platforms is what other tokens and platforms want to do. So again, Stack Cash is like the melting pot. Our CBC contracts is more sustainable because our CBC, and we'll talk super pool in just a moment, but our CBC essentially holds DeFi tokens, blue chips, and other DeFi projects. What you think about that, Vin?
Oh, you know how I love CBC, brother. No, but I love us looking out for the future investors and new investors. Is hey, you want to get into the CBC and earn some nice blue chip token wrapped blue chip tokens? You got to participate through our cash box, and that's the doorway in and your doorway out. So again, that's for the investor and that's for sustainability.
Exactly. And just say you like Shiba, whatever, right? The
Yep.
great thing about this is you'll get a higher percentage, up to 50% APR on your Shiba by participating in CBC.
Right.
So to be honest, yeah, it's really beneficial for other DeFi projects and tokens to want to
Absolutely.
be a part of CBC. It
Yes,
really
sir.
helps
Yep.
them. And last but not least, because we've talked all about sustainability today, if you guys have any more questions on sustainability, feel free to ask us. We'll be happy to help you out with that. Um, we also have what's called our Super CBC. And this is again just like we have Mega Cash with Cashbox. Our CBC contracts all just say Bitcoin, Ethereum. Each of those are separate pools. Well, in that case, each of those will have a separate Super CBC. So what all that means is we would have a well just like Mega Cash that no individual user can get more principal than.
Yep.
And just like Mega Cash as well, our super CBC pools, what they do is they pay the APRs for Cashbox for CBC. I'm sorry for I said Cashbox for CBC. So how is that? People wonder how do we get an APR on Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever I have. How do you guys get that APR? Well, Reflections is one way through our regulator, but
Yep.
the another primary way is through how the super pool pays out. So again, having that extra sustainability, we want all of our CBC pools and our cash box to be self-sustainable. So we don't even need to touch stack, and then everything even rises even more. So
Yep.
um, it's just like a dance, you know. Sometimes you can have a dancing partner that can't get on beat with you. Then you got some people you can just get right into it with them, and y'all just great dancing together.
Yeah,
Um,
man. To be stepping on your toes while you're dancing. Get off
Right.
my toes.
Oh, scuffing your shoes. Oh man.
Right. Uh,
Oh, so again, other projects have had devs or team leaders be this wallet. This is a protocol on wallet, just a participant, but its main point is to pay you guys yield. So that's that. So overall, again, today, we talked about sustainability, about Stack Cash, all the ways we've created to make it sustainable. And we touched on a couple other things, especially about the workings of it. So overall, Vin, what do you think about the sustainability of Stack Cash?
I'm very confident about it. I'll tell you. I mean, just comparing it to other projects in the space over the last 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, the difference in these smart contracts is like you got to read the white paper. I mean, you got to listen to the videos, all the white paper videos. I mean, just seeing it and hearing about it, and even if you're a mathematician out there, like do the math. I mean, I don't see any negativities about this project for a long-term sustainability and the fact that we're going to be building upon this thing. And I want to throw in there layer two. I was talking to you about layer two. I threw a little TikTok video out about that, and we can touch
Mhm.
on that maybe on the next AMA. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just excited about it because DeFi right now, and nothing lasted in the last couple of years, and everybody out there is hurting right now. So we want sustainability, and Stack Cash is definitely going to give that to us. I don't see any problems with that.
exactly. And to your point, Vin, we've been burned a lot in DeFi.
Oh
Just to be
yeah,
honest about it, we've been
yes
burned.
sir.
But another thing, some of what you said, Vin, is you know, adding the sustainability just to make sure we're sustainable. You can become a board member.
Yeah,
You can become an H board entity holder, and then
yes
you can
sir.
have a say. Help
Yep,
us stay sustainable.
that's right.
A lot of people they don't like to admit when they're wrong or when they could do things better.
Right,
Stack Cash, we're not built like that at
right,
all. Like
right.
we're
Yep.
built, we want your suggestions, we don't even call that FUD. It's constructive. As long as we keep it constructive, it's constructive.
Yeah.
So come in and have a say in, one of the greatest DeFi platforms you'll ever see. So
I was talking to my cousins the other day. They wait for the Stack launch, but and I had to talk to him about it, and he was like, um, "Oh, that's cool. You guys got a project. You're gonna make a lot of money on it. How you gonna, how much you making doing it?" I was like, "Listen, cousin, just like you and me and the rest of the team, we all have to buy in equally at ground level. It'll be a fair launch. Everything about the project's fair. We ain't taking no money from nobody. Um, we can't touch the money. So everybody in this project is all on the same playing field from the start." He goes, "Really? So why are you doing it?" I said, "For the people, my friend." I said, "That's what makes us different, and
man,
that's what I'm excited about. Just the truth, the honesty, the transparency, and what we're not here taking money every day like some other devs. You know what I mean? So,
right.
man, I'm looking years down the road here. So, he was like, "Wow, that's awesome, man." He goes, yeah, so they're excited about getting in. Just the fact that he said that, um, he was wanted to become like a member because if we were going to be making money, like, taking money, I said, that's not how it works over here, buddy. That's not how it works at all.
Right. Hey, Vin, you're an awesome storyteller, man. I
Yes,
do.
sir.
I want to hear all these stories, man. You got some good stories. You're an awesome storyteller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, I think a lot of people, and not just over here in DeFi and crypto, also
Right.
in real life too. That's
Yep.
how people think it works. And
Right.
we almost have to reteach people like, no, things can be fair, you know. So
Yes. Exactly.
yeah,
Yep.
man,
Yep.
that's great stuff, man. Great stuff. So as always, guys, we appreciate you guys joining us today. If you would please hit that red button. If you're on YouTube, hit that like. If you're on Twitter, definitely comment and hit a like. But ultimately, come visit us on our link tree, and also just come visit us. And if you guys stuck around this long, I might as well give them the alpha, Vin. I might as well give it out. So thank you guys for watching us today. But the alpha for this week is we'll have our white paper. If people need it in PDF form, they want to read it, they want to see it, they
Yes,
want to feel
sir.
it. So you can print it out. We've already had a committee member say, hey, my wife's going to print some out and hand them out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
Yep. So it's been a long way. People have been waiting. So we have our All About Stack Cash, which is the video form, but the Stack Cash white paper will be out this week. So look forward to it.
Yes, sir. And
Awesome.
we're gonna break that down too, right? We're gonna talk about that. Put out some YouTube videos. I'll put out some TikTok videos, X videos. But you know what, man? This X thing is killing me. I don't know how to say it anymore. Like, how do you say like?
Right. It's just the one syllable though, man. We need we need two syllables,
But
Stack
yeah,
cash,
yeah. I mean, but how awesome is that? A video format white paper, an actual PDF format white paper, and a broken down format of the white paper in video format. Oh man, so much information out there for everybody. And don't forget to check out Little Fish and his Medium articles. Shout out to him for that.
Yep. Thanks for saying that, Vin. Exactly. Check out, we have a bunch of resources. And just to Vin's point, we just have so much information. White papers, already in video form, but again, gonna get that white paper this week. So
Yes,
just
sir.
stuff coming for you guys. Just check us out. Just stay
Yes,
tuned.
sir.
All right, guys. So thanks again for joining us and enjoy your weekend.
Have a great weekend, everybody.